Hello.
Oh, hi
We
there.
are live.
Hello.
Right. Howdy, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone else in the audience.
Howdy doody.
Mm.
Are we gonna do this fast, like we did yesterday?
No, because I was just gonna say I promised Jamie that he could tell a story today. So we start with Jamie telling a story.
It's news to me.
Jamie, tell us the story.
So it was my last week of shift work this week for my contract. I have like some wrap up stuff to do, but my very last work shift was on Tuesday. It was lovely, and I got to see a couple of people. I hadn't been into the office for 2 months because I've been working from home. Right. It was nice just to see some friendly faces in the flesh, all very COVID safe. And then at the end of my rostered shift, I sent around a very nice message signing off, and I forgot the letter F in the word shift. And so I signed off for my very last shit. And, that was including like upper management. That was great.
Bravo, sir. Bravo. Skillfully done.
I have to say, I am glad that I stopped you telling that story yesterday because it belongs here.
I think it was relevant to someone talking about toilet humor yesterday, but
that's
then.
Wonderful. That is wonderful. I like that story.
I told you it was a quick one.
I was just going to say, the best part about that story is it means that I'm not the only one who does stupid stuff like that. So thank you, Jamie.
I am perfectly capable of stupid.
Stupid.
So what else is news with Jamie?
Not a whole lot. I have been wrapping up work. I'm working on a project, but I can't talk about it. And so, yeah, if you're interested in my stuff when I can talk about it, you should check out my Twitter @MuffinManifesto or my website, jamie-collette.com. I'm a voice actor and director, and you can find all my stuff there.
Very good.
Wonderful.
And just because she's looking terribly comfy, Chantal, your turn.
Like you. I am terribly comfortable. I am me, and I am doing a load of stuff, as if my life is not busy enough. I realized that it has been a really long time since I've written like intentionally long prose. So I'm writing a book because why not?
Would you like that as a short list after the show or a long list after the show?
I don't understand. A short list what?
Why not? Why not?
Oh.
I've got the document here somewhere.
As someone who's written 3 of them, I have a whole list.
Oh, I've done it before. I've just never published it. I just have it. So I'm just, going back to my roots, because I didn't start out as an actor. I started out as a writer and then started acting because there was a boy I liked that was acting. That's literally how it happened, because I didn't think I could act, and then I started doing it. It was fun, and I dumped him and started doing that.
How did I not know this story? We went to the same acting school for many years.
No one ever really asked. People don't care how you become an actor. They just kind of care that you are one. So, no, I'm not going to do NaNoWriMo because
Oh no!
I think I might possibly write faster than Nano if I really get into it. So I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, if you put the time constraints on yourself immediately, you become much slower.
Yeah, exactly. As soon as the time constraint, I don't do it. So
yeah, that's the problem.
Definitely works for some people, but
yeah.
But I want to get something done. I don't even tell myself or anyone. Like, I won't admit out loud that I'm doing something productive, because I will immediately check it off my list and it'll be done.
When you say done, you mean?
Oh, I'm about to cook dinner. Guess who never cooked dinner? Because she said it out loud. You have to trick yourself. Just saying.
Just
I
trick
mean,
yourself.
that is part of the way I got my first novel written. Was I wrote it one chapter at a time with the only thing I had for an outline was chapter titles that were all puns. The problem is I did not know how the puns related to each other, so if I didn't finish the story, I wouldn't get my own joke.
Yeah, that's smart. That's smart. I've just started using the app Bear, which is kind of fun. It's just a markdown thing, but it means that I have like hashtags for the things that I need to remember, and I can just block stuff out.
Fantastic.
But since I'm a pantser, not a planner, as we can, I'm sure we can tell why that might be.
I did not understand this sentence at all, but go ahead.
Pantser, I write by the seat of my pants, as opposed to planning. I do not plan a thing. I just start writing, and then where I end up is where I end up, and then I stop. Yeah. So, yeah, that's what I'm doing. Took a long time to get there and say that, but, yeah. Everything else is on my Twitter and or Linktree.
Sorry, just thank you, Great Mustache. I deeply appreciate that, I think. And welcome.
Yes. Hey. Michelle.
Right. So yeah, lately Tuesdays have been here as well as here on Wednesdays, and that's cool. So next Tuesday, but that will be the last Tuesday of the Tuesdays that have been here, I'll be here doing the last bit of Omens Rising, which has been fascinating. And then, yeah, so that's interesting. I'm interested in seeing how the mechanics, the conflict resolution mechanic works. That's the core of every role-playing system. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. And I'm looking forward to seeing how this one works. Yeah, so there's that. And then there's now, which is Unlawful Disorder, which is yay! And then Friday is my birthday, and I think I'm spending it basically doing a mixture of art stuff and flying planes, and chatting with friends, I think is my cunning plan for the day. I'll probably have a camera turned on during some of that process if folks want to hang out. Other than that,
at the same time?
Yes.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Don't you do that?
Well, see, the catch is that what most people don't understand about flight simming is particularly when you're live streaming, there's two exciting parts of a flight. The part up and the part down. The part in the middle, it's the computer going boop about every 30 minutes. And that's really dull. You can only pan around the aircraft and see how pretty it is so many times. So I think my machine actually has enough juice that I can run my flight sim and my CAD package at the same time to work on a map.
And a stream?
Awesome.
Yes. Well, because streaming is not done by that machine. It's done by the map. See, I do all my and it's got an NVIDIA card built into it. It's one of the 2012 series MacBook Pros. It's got an NVIDIA card in it, so I actually encode in card, which works pretty well. So I can get away with that, I think. We'll test this theory. So yeah, and then, gosh, what else? Yeah, so you can catch up with me as well on Twitter, MichelleV69. No, leaning the wrong way. That way, see? Right, no, there. Yes, I'm always confused.
Yes. You don't need to lean. It is visible to everyone else.
Oh, okay, sorry, for me...
It's on top of your arm for everyone else.
Ah, okay, see. Yeah, for me it looks like it's that I'm in the way of it. And same thing with the artwork and stuff. Okay, cool. Okay, got it.
I mean, you're in the way of the artwork.
But okay, but so
you need to be in the way of the artwork.
Yes, but so the text block and stuff is in front of my hand, not behind it.
Correct.
Got it. Awesome, thank you. Because that's not what I see on my screen. It was confusing me. And then that's the important stuff going on right now. Mucking around with my latest novel again, which is on again, off again, and but it's actually starting to move in a direction again, which is nice. So yeah, there we are. That's me.
Popcorn to someone else, please.
I think the last one is
Nope.
Danny.
We haven't had Sam.
No.
But also
Sam.
Danny.
Well,
Yeah.
okay. Well, I am here on Wednesdays and also on Saturdays, where we play Daybreak here on Saturdays.
Yes.
I play a very different animal in that one.
All animals. All the time.
All animals all the time. And yeah, no, couldn't be more different from Kaz. But just as fun there. In my personal life, I can't really say exactly what I've been doing, but I did defeat a minor capitalist evil, so that's something to celebrate. I'm very proud of that. A good one out for once. Hooray for small victories, etc. et al. I am an actor, violence designer, player of games. You can find me at DTCam Jansen for subtweets and snark.
Awesome.
And
These are
it's
all
not
the
an
things
or,
I need.
it's an and. Do love an and.
It's an inclusive service.
Full service.
I guess that's just me.
Yes, it is.
I actually participated in capitalist evil. So, in that I
Please
now own
don't
property.
say that publicly.
I bought an apartment, is what I'm saying.
Oh, nice.
Congratulations.
Which was a big surprise to me.
How do you surprise yourself with buying an apartment?
Because it was an auction.
I was just gonna say, coming home one drunk drunk from the pump, woke up in a law office, and suddenly you own property. What happened?
I would have a whole. That would be a whole other participation in capitalism if that's what you did.
The Amazon tracking email was like, "Hey, here's the address." And I'm like, "What? That's not how that works." No, it was an auction. And I had, like, leading up to it, essentially it was like for various reasons was like, it won't be this one, it'll probably be in like a year, because I need to basically reach the next end of financial year. Mostly because a lot of like my income is self-employed, and like for tax stuff and bank stuff, it would be better in a year. And so I was like, well, all right, but the place is still pretty good. Stream just went a bit wibbly. All right, there it goes.
That's fine.
I don't know if that's on my end or...
It would probably have been me. It's fine. I fixed it.
But like, I was like, this whole thing's been a pretty good learning experience about what this process is like. So I'll still do the auction. I'll just sort of readjust what my limit is. And I'll... and then I got like an inspection done. I was like, oh, okay, it's a bit of work, so I'll readjust my limit again. And I kept like just dropping what I'd go to. And so and then during the auction, I was like, I got to a point where it was like, I haven't reached the limit yet, but this is where I'm going to end. I don't want to go any further than this. And then the guy was like, oh, well, congratulations, you bought a property. And I almost managed to stop myself. I almost said, I don't think I'm going to keep bidding, no. And then I was like, yeah, wait, what? I'm sorry. What did you say?
What this proves to us is when in doubt, buy property in Queensland, because Queensland property apparently drops.
I mean, a big part of like continuing with the auction was the estate agent. I was just talking with the estate agent while I got the inspection done. He was like, oh, just so you know, we've got like the reserve all set up. It's actually lower than I thought it would be. And I was like, this feels like a ploy to keep me interested. It's working. But I was also like, this is an online auction. You need people to register, and I'm going to assume people haven't.
Oh.
And I would hazard a guess there were 3 people bidding on that, including myself. And very quickly that became 2. So I was like, all right, play your game. And more for me, I won.
That's dangerous. Don't call it a game. That's an ADHD. Can you imagine if people with ADHD had money?
So glad.
Yes, it's called Wall Street.
So glad that I talked to the broker I talked to gave really solid advice, because like it was a live streamed auction that I was phoning into, but the person I was talking to worked for the estate agent, so I was like, that guy's not on my side. So it's like, oh, the bid's this. Do you want to like add $25,000 to that? I was like, no, I don't. Why would I ever? Like, that would have meant I would have paid more than I ended up paying. What are you talking about? No. But so having the ADHD part being like, yeah, let's go, being like, no. Just because the money isn't in front of you doesn't make it not real. ADHD, please. I need your object permanence to just.
I had a situation very similar to this recently where, a client was like, "Hey, I want to move really easily, but to do that, I would have to push my mattress out of my second floor window. But I wanted to just check with you whether or not you think that that's a good idea because, like, you're objective about it." And I was like,
You feel like what, Chanson?
I was like, so here's the thing. I, Chantel, think that it would be really fun if you did. Really, really fun. But I cannot advise you to do this for two reasons. One, I don't know if it's legal. Second thing is, well, if you hit someone else's car or if you hit something else, I don't know if it's legal to do so. The second reason is, I think it's a really fun idea, which means you probably shouldn't do it. Because the part of me that says, do it. I want to know the story when you've done it. I want to know every tiny thing about this thing happening. Is also the ADHD part, so I cannot, in good conscience, say you should try it. Please don't do it. Do something different, if you can.
On a smaller scale, life hack, everyone, if you don't have laundry in your house, which I think all of you do because you don't live in the United States, and that kind of thing usually comes standard in habitable places. However, if you do attend a laundromat or live in a big city, et cetera, I live on a second story window and I happen to have a sunroof on my car. I've been dealing with an injury for the past 2 years, so like lifting all of the laundry takes like a while. So I came to the conclusion that the best way to get my laundry into the car would be to take the bag, tie it up, go downstairs, back my car up a couple of feet so that it's right over the little balcony area, and then just drop it through the sunroof. It works perfectly. I just...
As soon as you said you had a sunroof, I knew where this story was going, and I am so proud of you.
I am clutching my pearls. But I'm clutching my pearls because half of me is like, that is an awful idea. That is the socially appropriate half of me. The other half is going, fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. That's like, genius.
Part of it's like, it's like, do I drop my mattress out the window? And it's like, you might hit someone. It's like, don't yeet it out the window. Take steps.
Okay, but what if though?
If you yeet it out the window?
What if you don't like your housemates and you're just like, boop, oh, look out below.
That's a crime. That's a criminal crime. It's a crime if you do it like that.
And this is why I said don't do it, because I
think that's negligence.
That's at the very least.
I'm not a lawyer, but
but also I'm supposed to have some vague understanding of law because I only have to report legal activities that are punishable by 5 or more years worth of prison. So
you know what? The easiest way to get my piano out of my 40-foot, my 40-story walk-up is really just to push it out the window. It should be totally fine. There's some all good.
That one I would have to report actually, because I think that one could genuinely actually really hurt someone. A mattress from second floor. Oh, if you're a Looney Tune, then go ahead. You'll just squish for a bit. It's fine. We need to play this game.
Yeah.
Hang on a second.
Find me on Twitter, I guess. It's on the screen.
Yeah.
It's the _RealSumEP. I'm in a theatre show in November. If you live in Southeast Queensland, that doesn't seem as important as mattress eating, and I'm not joking.
So yeah,
Show.
that was everyone being impulsive. Let's go to the intro. We're back.
All right.
Serious role-playing time now.
No.
Yeah, right. We just don't do that here. Let's be honest. It's just not a thing we're good at. All right. So time did the tick thing. It is the next morning.
Oh.
Well, see, the catch is that Spider was, quote, going to be out all night. So the earliest, yes, exactly, night in quotation marks, defined roughly as before they start lighting the lamps around town and that sort of thing again, and thus a fellow with a cloak, top hat, and sword cane darting from rooftop to rooftop might become conspicuous.
And look, anarchy-provoking graffiti takes time.
Yeah, exactly. So my thought had been is after the oh my god, what the hell did I just watch? Followed by commiserations with the other two, that the most reasonable thing to do is progress to the scene where we all get to watch Spider panic about these revelations, which would be breakfast. Does that work
Why
for
would
everybody?
Spider panic, though?
I don't even remember what revelations we're talking about.
That's
Exactly.
While I open my notes, because do I?
So last session, what had happened was that Shagelza
Shigalza
had,
gave me
yes, the light.
thingo.
She had provided illumination for you. And that had resulted in an awful lot of oh dear, that's not cool, oh dear, from, well, all of you afterwards. So yeah. So thus it becomes breakfast time. Like I said, unless there's a scene that everyone thinks needs to happen first.
Not particularly.
All right. So what is Alexandra having for breakfast?
Maybe coffee, eggs on toast, existential dread.
Excellent seasonings.
Thanks.
I'm sorry, madam. The existential dread is extra.
You know what? It's worth it today. It's worth it. Thank you.
All right.
Yes.
Spider, what's Spider's breakfast looking like this morning?
I think Spider's going for just short of a king's feast at this point. Like just the full breakfast. Whatever the orcish cooks will make, I will eat.
Very good then. You will be, the quote King's breakfast is actually more referred to as the Chancellor's breakfast, and yes, it is a full three-course dinner served for breakfast.
Amazing.
And under normal conditions, they basically they'd want to verify you had the money before they actually started cooking, but you're a guest of the house, so no questions asked. The boss said just as they please. They're just going with that line. So yeah,
I'm currently eating a piece of sausage off a toothpick.
Sounds delightful. And Kazra, what about Kazra's breakfast? What's that look like?
Bacon wrapped asparagus.
Bacon wrapped asparagus.
That's
Yeah.
What the hell?
Yep, it is stunningly good. If you want to be absolutely decadent, you dip the asparagus in cheese before you wrap the bacon around it.
And then just like various breakfast type breads, you know, whatever's local to Cliff Spider, but bacon wrapped asparagus.
Yeah. So 3 different types of sourdoughs. Essentially, if you want, you can do the equivalent of a cheese fondue for breakfast. That's just primarily breads.
She does
Alexandre
like
wants that now?
Okay.
How does that taste with existential bread?
I want
Existential
heaven.
bread?
It's a
existential
smidge.
bread.
The aftertaste is always slightly bitter, and you're never sure why.
Yeah, sounds legit.
I feel like the sentence, if you want to make that really decadent, the answer can always be dip it in cheese. Like,
What's the French theory behind everything? I mean,
my soul is having a. It's kind of like a sort of like a porridge or a congee. He was like surprisingly specific about like toppings, I guess. He was like, "Oh, this, but it must have this, this, and this," kind of thing.
Okay.
Not 100% what things he was specific about, but he was specific about them.
Okay. All right then. So, what is the topic of conversation at the table? As given the fact that my soul can essentially turn on the equivalent of a signal jammer, and so that no one can eavesdrop, you can all speak relatively freely. And the cooks have basically all learned that if Alexandre is standing up and waving, or Spider is standing up and waving, they just wait a minute before they come by and ask you what's good, if you'd like your drink topped off. Other than that, you're generally left alone anyway.
And you see, Kazra, that is how a sausage is made.
You know, I've never been one for sausages, and now I know why. Wow. Yep. There's a metaphor in here somewhere. But, that's why I don't ask questions, Spider. That right there. So great. I'm glad I know now. I never want to think about it again. So they just... She bites into her asparagus and just...
Did you all have a nice night?
Yes.
Nice.
I don't know. Are we leaving today, or are we sticking around?
Yes.
I don't think that was a yes or no, Alexandre.
Mysel,
Okay.
why are these two being weird?
I'm not being weird.
Oh, we got more information last night from Shigalza. Well, we didn't. We got a little bit from Alexandre. Got a bit more information from Shigalza, and the kind of stuff where, the more we know about it, the worse it is for us. In that, we were told if we looked inside the thing we were given, and we weren't Alexandre, we'd probably die.
Yeah. There is the box.
You didn't look inside the box, right?
Who?
Do we look
No,
dead?
Alexandre.
You two, right?
No.
Okay.
Though it was also in a part of conversation where she explained that they don't immediately jump to killing people. But I think that was to highlight the point that they would in this case.
They would make an exception.
How nice for us.
I mean, this all sounds like...
She literally had to fight her own people to get it. So.
Oh boy. All right. Well.
But I assume it gave a lot of good insight to Alexandre, which is useful.
Everyone looks at Alexandre.
I have to go inside the volcano to try to wake someone up.
Okay.
Apparently the world's finished.
So, just to be clear, referring to this person as a person and B just someone is really burying the lead.
Yeah.
Well, I have to go into a volcano to try to wake up someone called the Maker who's going to fix the world because the world is broken or it's not finished.
You were pretty specific about the not finished bit.
I have absolutely no idea if we will end up with, like, an apocalypse, or like if we'll just, like, clean it all up, or the
We
world's
weren't
not
sure if it's
finished.
unfinished like a house or unfinished like a cake.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're hoping
Well-
for.
No, I get it. Like, cake
Well-
batter is not really the same thing as a finished cake, whereas a house you build on the. I get the metaphor.
Thank you. So I don't know if this Maker is going to want to, knock down the house and start again or not. But that's what I'm supposed to do. Just go wake him up.
Okay, well, it sounds like you need to, figure some things out before you do, but that doesn't vastly change what our plans are, as far as I can tell.
Short term, no. Whatever you want to
gonna
do to
take
make
all
the
of
world
this in-
better now is great. Because it might not be here in a few weeks. It's great.
Well, I'm going to take it in good faith rather than, fearing the worst.
Oh, but I mean, whatever you do now might be completely useless also, because it might be better anyway. You might not need to do a thing.
I mean, it's all somewhat always true in the fact that I might be dead tomorrow and it won't be my problem anymore.
For most people, I would say that is possibly true for you. I mean,
Let's table
have a-
that discussion.
you have a clock, and
Yeah,
your
yep,
clock
Yep, no, I
might
know what you're
just...
referring- Yep, thank you. Good. Yep.
I mean, I'm just saying your clock might mean that you can't run out. So, like, can you? I don't think you should try.
Well, no.
Spider the infinitely prolonged.
Yeah, I would prefer
Spider
not
the
to
infinitely
try
prolonged.
dying just to find out whether I can.
Just don't.
As far as I know, Kezra, I am perfectly mortal.
I what now?
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Oh.
I mean, I understand what you're saying about, like, the whole fatalistic nothing might matter, but I would still like to go to the airship.
Mm-hmm.
And then once that's done, we should be able to provision a proper expedition out to your volcano and bring our friends back.
Maybe.
And if, the Maker fixes the world in the meantime, I mean, that sounds good to me.
Well, the Maker's not going to do anything until I go and wake them. They're just oversleeping. Seems like a strange thing to do.
And if you choose, for whatever reason, not to wake them, at least we'll have our friends back, and then we can move on from there. Unless, I suppose, waking them is the proviso on which we get our friends back. And then if we're all turned into a cake, that would seem, disingenuous to the promise. But I won't rule it out as a possibility.
I mean, we could potentially get them back before the volcano.
We had to...
I don't... Well, it depends if they're linked in that way.
Right.
I don't... Well, I mean, it could be. I'm not saying that's not the case. I'm just kind of thinking out loud because, well, I mean, Lucas is just kidnapped somewhere, kind of. So if we knew where that somewhere was, we could just go. And Chevalier, I'm fairly certain we just need a body, of a Praetorian body. And that should be fine. We have everything else. Well, I mean, Alexandria has everything else.
I mean, I could probably just, if I had enough time, try to make a Praetorian body?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how any of that would work, not being familiar with Praetorians. Like, I don't know how specific it needs to be. Like, if it's just, if you just made like, could you use a regular golem body? I don't know. I mean,
I
you've
don't
got
think
like,
Chevalier would like that, though.
sure, but like, you essentially have the non-physical parts of him. So,
I mean,
do you need an actual, like, is there very specifically, this is how, do you like, I don't know, like, could you just, if you just imagined what a Praetorian body was and made it, would that work? Do you need, or are there specific parts and specific things you have to do? I don't know. Suppose we could test it. That probably would.
I don't know if I would want to test putting Chevalier's soul into anything else
No,
other than...
no. As soon as I said it out loud, that sounds like a bad idea.
I'm sorry.
You probably want to be sure.
Question of the day. Question of the day.
Oh, you have a question now. I thought you
just
didn't
the
ask questions.
Yeah, I'm making an exception for
Okay.
this particular moment. Are you all carrying around parts of one of your friends in your like in your bags, or?
I mean, yes. I assume. Well, how do I put this?
Even for
I'm
us,
carrying...
it's
I just...
Alexandria, you have follow-up questions?
No.
I can show you.
It's worth.
It's not a question. I can just...
Please don't. Please don't. Please don't. Please don't.
Alexandria takes out the box.
different box. It's okay.
It's not the same box. You can look at this box. Well, yes.
I don't know what's in that box, and I would rather not find out.
Well, it's not the box.
It's just
what's
stuff.
I think it's what's in the box.
It's just stuff.
I would assume. There's a degree of speculation here. How do I? When I perceive the world, I'm seeing the ripples of your impact on it more than you. That's a very inaccurate way to describe it. I'm talking in general.
Okay.
But explaining to Kazra. And that's an inaccurate, very inaccurate way to describe it, but it's kind of the best I've got. So from that box, when I first perceived it, I was very confused. But then when Alexandre showed me her memories of her Grandmere, but also of Chevalier, well, I realized that the Chevalier one were very familiar. Because that was what was inside the box, but not quite, because it's not all of him. It's just, well, it's the parts that make him him. Now, I don't know how that happens. I've not experienced that before, but I'm guessing it's an offshoot of him being mechanical, that he's able to preserve that somehow.
Your friend is mechanical.
Yeah, I mean that.
Has that not been? Have we not explained that?
No.
So, Chevalier, imagine, if you will, a suit of armor.
I got it.
Full stop.
Yes.
That's it. That's all you need to do.
Yeah. And imagine it could move and talk.
Okay.
Okay, you're not far off then.
Okay. And you have the non-suit of armor part in your box there.
Yes.
Yeah, we have the bit that
Carrying
makes
it
him.
around.
What else am I supposed to do with it?
Where is the armor?
It, turned into motes and floated away?
Okay. 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 Okay.
That doesn't sound okay.
Kazra goes back to eating her bacon-wrapped asparagus.
You might want to dip it in cheese. It makes it better.
Lactose intolerant.
Really?
Regardless, Lucas is, as far as we know, at the volcano, so we do need to go there anyway.
And Lucas is definitely human.
And you're not carrying around pieces of him.
Well, I don't know. Not me. Are you?
As much as I hate to admit it, yes, he is definitely human.
Oh. Oh.
It's my brother.
Making a note. Making a note.
If there are limbs inside your bag, you have to tell me or it's entrapment.
No, I think he took his leg with him.
He lost his leg.
But he took it with him.
He lost his leg a long time ago, Kazumi.
The replacement.
If I die out there, please don't just put my feathers in a box and carry me around.
What if it meant we could bring you back to life?
Would you want that?
The fantasy
okay.
world equivalent of discussing a do not resuscitate. Do you want to be raised or not?
You can think about it for a little while if you'd like. But
Don't anticipate you dying anytime soon. You can take your time figuring this out.
On how many parts you have to carry around and for how long?
Show her the box.
No! Do not show me the box!
I think it's rather pretty.
It's a great box. Almost as good as the end of the world doomed death box that we got yesterday.
That was actually a really nice box, yeah.
it's also a very pretty box, yes.
You guys are just full of pretty boxes, aren't you?
Well, yeah. If you're going to carry around
Parts of your friend, you can say it.
No. That's not what I meant. I didn't ask for it. He just gave it to me before the rest of him disappeared. I didn't make it happen. I didn't choose it, but because I have it, I'm looking after it.
Okay. Yep.
Besides,
Yep.
he left a letter
I mean, that seems natural.
and the picture.
That also seems like a pretty normal, like, a memory of a friend to carry around.
Yes, he left it in the box.
The soul box.
That
Was that
came
it?
from inside his body.
Just a letter and a picture?
No, there are other bits of him
Oh, okay.
that were in there.
His
Okay.
face is in there.
Well, no, his face is not in there. His face is here. Exceptionally, his face.
I couldn't help myself.
Cass is just, like, burying her face in her right wing. Just...
It's a mask.
I understand everything I want to understand today. Thank you very much for your open and honest communication.
I mean, it's only breakfast. If we're traveling
I
today,
mean, to be fair, you broke the rule, Gus.
you asked the
I mean-
question.
I made an exception. I have regrets, but also I'm glad that I know. I just... That's not even the strangest thing I know about you all. That's the sad part.
What's the strangest thing you know?
I'll let you guess.
Look.
It's the time thing.
Is it the time thing has nothing to do with me.
I don't know. There's a lot of weird things, but I reckon Hio might be the weirdest.
Really?
Yes, there's a literal dragon inside this small boy. Yes, I think that's probably pretty strange.
Oh yeah, I mean
Well,
that's
not.
I thought it was individual though. I didn't think it was like of the group of us, like the
Right.
strangest thing. Because
Oh,
I don't know.
Okay. Oh, I mean individually.
I meant all of you.
Song,
Oh.
time slash dragon.
Okay, no.
I feel like aging backward is the weirdest. If you're going to go by weirdness, I think you win.
No, okay, yeah, that one's
Pretty weird, yeah.
That one's the most against all of everything.
Yeah.
I mean, being able to wake up a god that made the planet, that's pretty impressive, though. I'd put that right up there.
I mean, that's if I can wake up a god. What if I can't?
Oh, yeah, I suppose that's it. I mean, we don't know.
I feel like they wouldn't have picked you if you couldn't do it.
Or if I was just the best one, like I have the strongest lungs. Whistle tone.
I feel like then it might be Remiki.
Yeah. I mean, Mysel has them. I was like, we've specifically met people that can probably, if that's the criteria.
If I... Yeah, I don't know.
I love KJ in chat. I vote for Origami Kid.
Origami Kid does win a number of awards.
Very good.
All want the answer? It seems like you've had enough time to discuss.
Yes.
The weirdest thing that I know about you all is that you were able to have that spirited debate about what the weirdest thing is that I know about you all. And they were all fine contenders individually.
Oh, shit.
You know what I find to be the weirdest thing about you?
The feathers?
No.
Or the fact that I can talk?
No, No.
What is it?
The fact that you're still here despite the fact that we just had this conversation.
I haven't learned anything new this morning except the thing about where you're carrying the souls of your friends.
But that's my point. You're not even doubting it.
Honestly,
Why would
you
I
might be the
start?
most remarkable of all of us.
Yes.
Why would I start now?
Well, I mean, that's also part of my point, is that all of the things we've said, and you haven't run away or called the guard or just said, hey, I'm not doing this anymore, they're too weird. Or
This is my job and that's not how it works.
But I mean, you could just say, okay, this job is too weird and I am the what I am getting paid is not worth this. But you didn't do that.
Oh, that's not necessarily true. However, for all of the talk that I made about keeping you all alive here in Cliff Spider, up at this altitude, I am starting to suspect, and I got this impression probably around the second day, that if I get more than a mile or two away from you guys, I will be struck by lightning and immediately drop dead. I think that your whole thing, whatever you have, I've been dragged into it, and I don't think I'm going to make it out alive unless I complete the task at hand, which is to make sure that you guys don't die, or maybe only die on your own terms, or like only die a little bit so that someone can carry you around until you can figure out how to reverse it, or that part is unclear. I think I'll know when it happens. But think I'm in too deep now to leave.
That's fair. I'm sorry.
Don't be.
I mean, I'm glad you didn't leave.
Hey, thanks, Maisel.
I'm very glad that you're here.
Me too.
It's a lot of growth from you, Spider. Thank you all. Thank you. I'm glad you all are glad to have me here. If you were irritated by my presence, that would make this a lot harder.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty close to what it was like with Lucas around, to be fair.
He sounds fun. He sounds fun.
I mean,
Uh,
don't get me wrong, I love him, but
And you want him, you love him enough to carry parts of him around?
what? No,
And
I
one of
don't
that.
have a part of Lucas. He
You
just
didn't say that before. You said you definitely did.
no. I said that I definitely didn't like to admit that he was human, but he is.
Right. I got caught up.
oh, that's what you were saying.
That was a
Oh,
dramatic in a sentence. You're right. You're right. You did say that. I'm thinking back. You're totally right. You did say that.
You know, we all have a little bit of resentment towards our siblings, right?
I don't have any.
I,
Was never mind.
Can I have resentment towards yours?
I think that was natural. I mean, you've met them, so yes.
Sounds like a bit of a foregone conclusion, if you ask me.
Do you have siblings?
Oh, yes.
How many?
Eight.
8?
8.
wow.
8 siblings.
Yes.
8.
It's a lot of resentment.
You get used to it. That's good natured.
Suddenly, Kazura makes sense. She's the middle child in a family of 12.
Shall we? Shall
Well,
we get on with this harrowing life or death, world-breaking cake adventure?
yeah. Well, I also had a good night, and I think I may have somewhat forestalled the situation here from proceeding at least short term. So I think we've got time for an expedition.
Good.
What did you do?
I threw a spanner in the works.
Oh no, what did you do?
Did you collapse the walls like I said?
Wasn't necessary.
Okay.
I didn't hurt anybody. I used
Correctly.
my words as you have been telling me to do.
What do those words say?
Are you sure you want to know the answer to that?
She doesn't believe you anymore.
You do make it seem more suspicious when you talk around the topic.
I understand that, but that, like, this group is not unfamiliar to having topics that ought to be talked around.
Oh, that, yeah.
I think I had better know what you did.
Uh,
So that when I am afraid it's not unknown dread. I have enough of that.
The element that we met last night. Sorry, can you remind me, Michelle, the guy's name, the orator?
Hang on.
Cannot.
I think I wrote his actual name, not the name they gave us.
I wrote his actual name down.
But you gave us like.
Linvola.
Linvola. Linvola.
But you gave us his actual name.
Actual name. In fact, I didn't give you his actual name because I didn't. You weren't there.
Oh, I think in the end.
Saladus Volnar.
Because I didn't end up staying behind.
It was Saladus
right.
Volnar.
Right. So I would say Volinar and his faction seem awfully convinced of their ability to use their imaginary figurehead, but it's my imaginary figurehead they're using, and so I let her speak a little.
Spider, am I the imaginary figurehead?
You were in the veils, but no, not really. You did play the part, but I can't say you played it well.
I played it well enough that people are trying to use me for a revolution. How much better do you want me to play it?
Well, I mean, they're trying to use the part as the imaginary figurehead of their...
I originated the part.
No, I originated the part.
So what you're saying is they're trying to start a revolution using me, but actually using you. And you don't like it, so you decided to go out and just say, hey, by the way, I originated the part. Make sure you know.
I obviously didn't say that. I just...
Oh.
I just told them that the priestess is not amused with their behavior. Literally.
I think we should leave. I think it's
that would
probably
definitely...
going to be better for us.
If I was using an imaginary figurehead to spearhead my revolution, and the imaginary figurehead started talking, I'd be very concerned.
If they believe you.
The real version of the... Yeah, well, I mean, that's also possible. The point is, I feel like I sowed enough confusion that we can leave the city for some time, and things won't immediately boil over.
Or they will boil over immediately.
It's also possible.
That was the other thing. I did check last night. So there is an actual... They at least are able to produce this person, this lady of the veils or whatever it was. Though usually they don't talk all that much. A lot of somebody else interpreting their words, but they can have a physical presence because there's a, I mean, it's just covering someone in veils, which is what they've been doing. And I also checked with the whole, if he was being truthful about the army, and yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
that's a conflict that's been going for like 50 years, and they've definitely fed information to the kobolds.
Oh yeah, so I mean that situation will certainly proceed, but I feel like it will be... I feel like they will need to put some precaution into their actions for at least some time, rather than just steamrolling ahead. That's all. And that's all I feel like we need right now.
So...
Otherwise,
now...
I just would have gone and killed them. I mean,
So now we leave?
Well, we were planning to go check out the airship, weren't we?
Yes.
And make some money, because as much as I like to play the part, we do actually need to do some work for Bruxa if we want to keep enjoying the lifestyle that we have here.
Oh, well, I mean, yeah. What is that saying? We're not here to fuck what?
What?
No idea what you're talking about, sorry. Care to elaborate?
What aren't you here to fuck?
What's the Australian phrase? That's wonderful.
I'm not here to fuck spiders.
Yeah.
We're not here to fuck spiders.
Pardon?
Which, interestingly, as a side note, is potentially like not a real expression that anyone used, but it was an expression Australians told other people we used.
And now
to
it's
the
used.
extent that Australians now use it.
Yeah. We're not
it's-
here to
it-
fuck
but-
spiders, so
Yeah, but it's
let's
like
leave.
it usually answers to like, hey, it's like stuff like, hey, do you want a beer? It's like, well, I'm not here to fuck spiders. It's yes. It's a long way to say yes.
I believe it.
It's
You
so,
should.
It's so Australian that
Yeah.
even if it wasn't actually Australian, it is now.
I find like that if it was like Australians taking the piss, but was so liked that Australians started using it, that makes it more Australian.
Oh, that is Australian everythingness. That's how we do
just-
things.
When your meta becomes the game, yeah, okay,
Yeah.
GG.
The number of poor, lovely foreign friends I've convinced that they've only seen pictures of baby koalas and that they do actually grow up to 6 feet tall is.
Oh, when I first moved to Australia, I told a number of people that we closed Harbour Bridge to let kangaroo cross, and then it happened that one year where a kangaroo crossed, and I was like, oh shit, now it's ingrained and I can't change it. Just that one incident, that one isolated incident of a kangaroo actually crossing fucked up every one of the jokes that I had at other people's expense. Let's
The
move on.
kangaroo's just going, these people keep saying that we crossed that bridge. I'm gonna do it. Fuck them.
They believe in me. They believe in me.
Well,
We're most
Let-
to in terms of ready to leave, we're kind of like we can just
we're ready.
basically go whenever we
Yes.
particularly. Yeah, okay.
I've done all the stuff. We have the
Yeah.
donkeys. The names are.
And the group, remembering, I can't the ones the Confederacy calls the Burn Fire Tribe. They're the ones we have to deal with,
Yeah, the Ashnod Brave.
and they're the ones with people that everyone else sort of goes, maybe give them a wide berth.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yes, them.
Yeah.
Good.
They're the ones that the psychos think are crazy, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's your job is dealing with them if we actually come across them.
Whose job?
Myself. I mean, you speak a little, don't you?
Me? Oh, I speak fluently. Yes.
Oh,
Oh yeah, Alexandria speaks Orcish as well.
oh. Well,
And
Yes.
I mean,
remembered now, I guess. And I've been talking with the chefs a lot.
I also feel like Hio might be our ace in the hole on that one for people who worship fire.
Well, that's not a bad idea.
Dragons breathe fire?
Not technically, but also the difference is minimal. If you're confronted, like fire can come out of Hio's mouth. Yes, he's not breathing fire. So like the technical difference is usually not important for the person on the other end.
I think I can breathe fire if I try.
And it's mostly magic.
I wouldn't doubt that.
It's just concentrating magic to a point and then turning it into energy. Like,
I wouldn't want to burn myself, though. That sounds horrible.
Kazra, I've been somewhat avoiding this question because you're doing a wonderful job of keeping us alive just, by merely existing. If things did manage to get rough, should we count you out for the fighting thing?
Oh, I carry a
have some
knife.
experience?
I mean, she pulls out like a big Bowie knife. She's like, I mean, I have this.
it's like
You had that the whole time?
Yes.
You just... Wait. You know what? I'm not going to ask. I'm not
Wow.
going to ask.
Puts it back.
reminded of the XKCD. Careful, that dog has a knife. What? No, I don't.
No.
I was also like this close, being like, I mean, just carrying a knife doesn't mean you're just like, never mind. Carrying that knife is definitely a statement. That's a. Uh-huh.
I can shoot a bow and arrow, but I don't carry one. Just
That's
FYI.
good to know. I mean, I have a spare if you like.
I don't like But
We'll
if
keep
I
it in the wagon. So ideally not.
yeah, mostly I can fly, so that's fun.
Yeah, I mean that's certainly helpful.
When trying to protect yourself specifically from things that are typically on the ground.
Okay. I just wanted to, like get some sort of gauge,
Yeah, that's not the thing I'm most afraid of. No.
We are somewhat accustomed to traveling with a pair of heavily armored knights, so just gotta rethink any strategy in the case of conflict.
Real quick. Man, I said I didn't have any follow-up questions. The people you lost on your adventure were the heavily armored knights?
You know, yes.
To be fair, Chevalier went down destroying some of the scariest monsters I've ever even heard of in my entire life, and Lucas is just an idiot.
Lucas was a prat.
He just walked through a portal and kidnapped himself.
I'm not questioning. I'm not questioning their wherewithal or abilities or lack.
I mean, with
thereof.
Lucas, you probably should.
Yeah.
No more lack thereof, as it seems. I believe whatever it is you're telling me. I just wanted to know because none of you seem like the tanky type, and those being the ones that are gone seems statistically unlikely. But here we are.
I think the lesson there is the kind of conflict where if we end up in that kind of conflict, we've probably made a mistake. Unless Hio's around. I mean, I assume Hio can handle that.
Yeah, I'm not a heavily armored knight. I just wanted to put that out there and make sure I said it before we left. I am not a heavily armored knight.
Well, then you don't need to worry about dying, then. It's fine. If that's what you're afraid of.
As you say, statistically, the only people who
I mean...
No. I do need to worry about dying. However...
Well, if...
Definitely worry about dying, yeah.
If... It probably doesn't make sense, or maybe it's not believable at this point in time, given all the conversation we just had, but I'm actually quite good at healing. So...
Yeah, I know I've scared you with stories about her melting people, but she's actually very good at putting them back together again.
I'd forgotten about that.
I have never melted someone. What are you talking about?
I mean...
That you know of.
It's a very fine line, Alexandria.
No, it's not.
Melting's
That's not a
very
fine
specific.
line at all.
Melting
Fine line between what and what? Healing someone and melting them?
Well, I mean, you've done some very nasty things to people. Not entirely on purpose, I will admit.
I don't think I need to hear more of those. I don't want to be afraid of her.
Exactly.
I don't think we need to talk about it anymore.
I agree.
It's magic, and we have a fair amount of it around, so,
There we go. We will be fine. Be fine. Be fine. Be fine.
We will be fine. We will be fine.
Hio is quite hardy, and I'm not any good in a fight. I wasn't before. Indicates at his everything, but I have abilities as well. So
you were perfectly capable of incapacitating me when it came down to it. So
yeah, I don't like using them offensively, as it were. But push comes to shove, as it.
Yeah, you're fresh out of nights now, so you might have to.
Why don't we talk about not this?
yeah, I think we're ready to go. That was really the last thing on my checklist.
Kazra, you said you wanted to talk to your mother before you went.
Oh, I went last night. I went and yeah, no, I'm okay. I'm okay. I did everything I needed to do.
You didn't want to introduce me to your family, darling. I'm offended.
Well, Spider, you'll have to prove yourself before I can let you do that. Now, won't you? How
What
about
do
you
you
stay
need us
alive?
to do to prove ourselves?
She has
Stay
8
alive.
siblings that have to accept you. It's not easy.
I
Stay
tend to be
alive and
quite
then
good
we'll
with
talk.
people.
Stay alive and then we'll talk. I'll have you know that none of my family is people also. I don't know if I made that clear
Even
prior to
better.
that.
Really.
Wait, I'm sorry. What?
Hmm?
What?
Surely you're joking.
Who?
Is this how you feel all the time?
Your,
What?
Your
I don't-
family aren't people?
Your family aren't people.
They're all
They're all birds.
she kind of like holds up her wing.
They're birds? They're bird people, though.
It was a joke.
You're
people, Kazra.
Yes, this is how I feel all the time. It was
right.
Oh,
Right.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Good. All right.
Ah,
The normal things do still scare you guys. Okay. Yep, good to know. Check that off my list. Now I'm ready to go too.
I mean, it was a weird mix of fear and fascination.
I don't know what you thought they were, but
Why?
That's why they were
not
asking.
people is a lot of things.
yes.
That's the. I don't know.
It's a strange thing. to get hung
You
up.
come from a different plane as well. Maybe they at some point in your life cycle you go from people to something else.
Do you?
suspecting that my parents were just like garden variety parrots?
How are they not?
They're birds, but are they not garden variety bird people parents? Do you change into something else when you get big enough? Are your parents something else?
Are most of the birds that you know this big? Where have you been?
Were you a bird?
Do
You were
do
just
you think
small
we're
bird.
thrown by the fact that you're a bird?
What? None of these things. Now you're just going off the handle.
Like, I assumed your parents were full 60.
Okay, no more jokes. That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah, okay.
No, I think it was a wonderful joke.
Usually they hit.
Yeah, I was in a different mindset of talking about weird things, and so not being people, I went less joke and more revelation.
I am very confused.
Yeah, they're dinosaurs. I don't know what to tell you. Like
I mean, I don't know.
Dinosaurs would be the great grandparents, actually, but keep going.
that's where she was going with that. No.
Every now and again, full 60 just comes out as a raptor. And it's like,
So
they can't
we
fly,
should
but they'll
leave
mess you
then.
up.
We should just leave. We
All
should
right,
just
let's go.
leave.
Keep an eye out for dinosaurs. After you.
You said no more jokes, so now I don't know.
She doesn't say anything. She just like wraps the remainder of her bacon wrapped asparagus in a napkin so she can take it with her.
Alexandre fears.
This is absolutely that moment where the new person in the friend group like finally like keys in. They're no longer like on the outside of all the jokes.
Alexandre fears.
Yep. Kaz was gonna let that one ride.
And no one yes, you're absolutely right, Jamie, and it's that awkward moment where where half the group is figured out, yay, they're here, and the other group is, what have we done?
No, Alexandre's bad with jokes.
I
This is
legitimately-
true until she's told otherwise.
I legitimately, as Sam, thought this was like a massive like revelation, like this sort of like you're just dropping this like massive like twist, at the end of the conversation. And I was like, oh God, that's amazing.
My parents are the Watchers. They were all along.
Yeah.
They're going to wake up my mom and dad.
Look, I'm entirely ready for there to be some kind of massive revelation involving the full 60. And I'm
Hey,
here
Danny.
for it.
Danny, you know how you'll say something off the cuff and then I make it happen in game?
Yeah.
Where do you think I got that from?
Oh.
I'm just putting
Dear.
we should have warned you.
I'm just putting it out there that like if you just need to like I can't cover your ears. We just
Now. We're how many sessions in at this point?
I'm not saying don't do it. In fact,
I'm not saying don't do it. I'm
quite
just
the opposite.
saying
Definitely do it.
do it with knowledge.
Just be aware.
Do it with knowledge.
That I could have, but I didn't have the knowledge. And
Well-
I'm not small.
You'll never know if
Look.
that was a joke.
We didn't initially either. We learnt the hard way.
I've been hazed. Are you happy now?
I'll be happy when the dinosaur turns up. Should we take a break?
Oh, this is my cousin Larry.
Okay.
This
Break.
is his partner,
time.
Chris Pratt.
Oh God.
Except for
That ain't funny. That ain't funny. We go into a break. We go into a break now.
Oh,
Bye,
that's
bye
funny.
everyone.
That's hilarious.
Break
Give it
break
up.
time. Why hands?
Have you considered that you might like a disguise that doesn't involve being wrapped up in veils?
Yes.
Will you let me do your makeup?
No.
Think they might be afraid.
You look like you need a ride. You look like you need a ride. I'm here to help, but I don't think that I can fit your friend there. Can you ask them if they are going to eat me?
Depends
In
on
that
your
case-
answer.
My name is Michel Vaillancourt. I'm the games master and storyteller for Unlawful Disorder. I've been asked to give a summary of events of the game, but that seems a little strange because, well, that's the job of the players. Don't ask me what the story is, I'm just the guy telling it. So, let's talk about how we got here. So, about a year ago, I saw a bunch of really talented people doing some really cool stuff, and I thought, well, that's cool, I'll have to keep them in mind. And a little while after that, I got a call from a roleplay channel asking me to set up a game. They wanted a European time zone friendly game. So I went back and I called up the cool people doing the cool stuff. So that would be Chantel and company. Cool. So, after that, we took a little bit of time, discussed a good D&D campaign, and I brought forward one of my homebrew worlds. And they looked at me and said, no.
You're sure he's not gonna eat me?
He's not gonna eat you.
Okay, I'm a friend then.
Depends
In
on
that
your
case,
answer.
It's not the name that's on the bounty, and that's all that matters to me.
Okay. Now I just have to remember to respond to it.
Well, you'll do that, won't you, Eric? Eric,
Are you going to eat them?
Considers it.
By the way, you have no clue what she's on about. Like, you've never seen one of these things before.
he's a vegan!
Oh, what?
Definitely don't know what that is.
I don't care what he is. He's got big teeth.
You do have big teeth. Not incorrect.
Theo's grasp of the trade tongue is
Oh,
body.
do you? Oh, do you? What do you eat them?
Sort of looks back up. I will not consume that person.
Could you be a little more generic and just say you're not going to consume anyone in the city as well? Just to make it easier.
That'd be great.
Sort of reverting back to elders, like,
Just try.
what language?
You know?
I'm not gonna eat people.
I know you're not going to eat people.
Language is hard.
I know. Just say it the way I'm telling you to say it. I'm not going to eat the city.
I'm not gonna eat the city.
Yes.
I'm not gonna eat the city. Mental image got too funny.
Why hands?
Have you considered that you might like a disguise that doesn't involve being wrapped up in veils?
Yes.
Will you let me do your makeup?
No.
You.
Think don't be afraid.
You look like you need a ride. You look like you need a ride. I'm here to help, but I don't think that I can fit your friend there. Can you ask them if they are going to eat me?
Depends
In
on
that
your
case-
answer.
My name is Michel Vaillancourt. I'm the games master and storyteller for Unlawful Disorder. I've been asked to give a summary of events of the game, but that seems a little strange because, well, that's the job of the players. Don't ask me what the story is, I'm just the guy telling it. So, let's talk about how we got here. So, about a year ago, I saw a bunch of really talented people doing some really cool stuff, and I thought, well, that's cool, I'll have to keep them in mind. And a little while after that, I got a call from a roleplay channel asking me to set up a game. They wanted a European time zone friendly game. So I went back and I called up the cool people doing the cool stuff. So that would be Chantel and company. Cool. So, after that, we took a little bit of time, discussed a good D&D campaign, and I brought forward one of my homebrew worlds, and they looked at me and said, no.
You're sure he's not gonna eat me?
He's not gonna eat you.
Okay, I'm a friend then.
Depends
In
on
that
your
case,
answer.
It's not the name that's on the bounty, and that's all that matters to me.
Okay. Now I just have to remember to respond to it.
Well, you'll do that, won't you, Eric? Eric,
Are you going to eat them?
Considers it.
By the way, you have no clue what she's on about. Like, you've never seen one of these things before.
he's a vegan!
Oh, what?
Definitely don't know what that is.
I don't care what he is. He's got big teeth.
You do have big teeth. Nothing
Hugo's grasp of the trade tongue is
Oh,
body.
do you? Oh, do you? What do you eat them?
Sort of looks back up. I will not consume that person.
Could you be a little more generic and just say you're not going to consume anyone in the city as well? Just to make it easier.
That'd be great.
Sort of reverting back to elders, like,
Just try.
what language?
You know?
I'm not gonna eat people.
I know you're not going to eat people.
Language is hard.
I know. Just say it the way I'm telling you to say it. I'm not going to eat the city.
I'm not gonna eat the city. I'm
Yes.
not gonna eat the city. I'm not gonna eat the city.
Sambro.
Mental image got too funny.
Why hands?
Have you considered that you might like a disguise that doesn't involve being wrapped up in veils?
Yes.
Will you let me do your makeup?
No.
You.
Think they would be afraid.
You look like you need a ride. You look like you need a ride. I'm here to help, but I don't think that I can fit your friend there. Can you ask them if they are going to eat me?
Depends
In
on
that
your
case-
answer.
My name is Michel Vaillancourt. I'm the games master and storyteller for Unlawful Disorder. I've been asked to give a summary of events of the game, but that seems a little strange because, well, that's the job of the players. Don't ask me what the story is, I'm just the guy telling it. So, let's talk about how we got here. So, about a year ago, I saw a bunch of really talented people doing some really cool stuff, and I thought, well, that's cool, I'll have to keep them in mind. And a little while after that, I got a call from a roleplay channel asking me to set up a game. They wanted a European time zone friendly game. So I went back and I called up the cool people doing the cool stuff. So that would be Chantel and company. Cool. So, after that, we took a little bit of time, discussed a good D&D campaign, and I brought forward one of my homebrew worlds. And they looked at me and said, no.
You're sure he's not gonna eat me?
He's not gonna eat you.
Okay, I'm a friend then.
Depends
In
on
that
your
case,
answer.
It's not the name that's on the bounty, and that's all that matters to me.
Okay. Now I just have to remember to respond to it.
Well, you'll do that, won't you, Eric? Eric,
Are you going to eat them?
Considers it.
By the way, you have no clue what she's on about. Like, you've never seen one of these things before.
he's a vegan!
oh, what?
Definitely don't know what that is.
I don't care what he is. He's got big teeth.
You do do have big teeth. Nothing.
Hugo's grasp of the trade tongue is
Oh,
body.
do you? Oh, do you? What do you eat them?
Sort of looks back up. I will not consume that person.
Could you be a little more generic and just say you're not going to consume anyone in the city as well? Just to make it easier.
That'd be great.
Sort of reverting back to Elvish, like,
Just try.
what language?
know?
I'm not gonna eat people.
I know you're not going to eat people.
Language is hard.
I know. Just say it the way I'm telling you to say it. I'm not going to eat the city.
I'm not gonna eat the city. I'm
Yes.
not gonna eat the city.
Sambro.
Mental image got too funny.
Why hands?
Have you considered that you might?
We did it.
We're back.
Yay!
Hello.
We're back.
We are. Yes.
Okay then, folks. So it's going to be about 120 odd kilometers to get to where you understand the wreck of the airship to be. Just for perspective.
20
So-
kilometers. Okay.
Just a short walk.
How many Chantels?
That's a lot of
Many
Chantal.
Chantels.
You
a lot of
know, I
Chantels.
was thinking about it in those terms. That's a whole lot of. That's more me than I want, frankly.
Chantel as far as the eye can see.
Oh goodness.
Well, anyway, nothing safe to say there. So the idea would be you'll probably wind up camping out one night.
For a kilometer?
Not with the Chantels.
120 kilometers.
Oh, I thought you said one.
We don't have a motorbike, you know.
Friends, I know I'm on the imperial system here, but it feels like the kilometers not that far. It's fine. Like, God, I'm caught up.
I cannot hear you, Michelle.
You're muted and saying important story words. Still muted.
That's a pain in the backside.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, okay. So the press the space bar so you can talk only works if you have the Zoom meeting in focus. That's a pain in the
Oh.
backside. Okay.
Interesting.
That sucks.
All right. No, it was just I was laughing myself foolish earlier and I didn't want to interrupt you, so I had myself muted. So
That's fine.
all right. So it's about so you've got about 25 kilometers worth of road. And then you'll be hiking over 10-ish kilometers worth of hills and fields, and after that you're basically getting out of the area controlled by the Progress Confederacy. You're going into foothills, up upslope by nearly 350 meters of altitude, and it's all rough walking past that point. So the first quarter isn't bad. The second quarter is, hey, good, you're adventurers. The last half is going to be some hard walk, just for perspective. So,
Well, I mean, I didn't rip 2 Russian donkeys and a caravan or a wagon for nothing.
no, exactly. So, the first 50 odd kilometer, you'll be able to get basically there. You'll be able to get the easy part out of the way, before sunset this evening, and then basically the question is how far do you want to push on into Nolkin territory before stumbling into people that scare the Nolkin territory.
Yeah, I need to look at that map again.
Sure, I can throw the link in the.
I think I've got it somewhere. But yeah, sure.
Yeah, hang on.
Got it up. I can check the link in.
There we go. Threw it in the Discord as well for those people looking there instead. And there it is in the Zoom chat.
I see.
So essentially, you'll be following the road from Cliff Spider down to, you can see there's a mill and a little church area in some fields. That's about 25 kilometers, that haul. It's about another 25 kilometers from the end of the road, from where the road ends to the edge of the Progress Confederacy's established territories. If you don't want to be trudging through Nolkin territory, then you sort of have to stick between the cliff and the edge of the Gifted Whisper Warriors. And then you're heading in the direction of the Burned Fire Tribe. Their border is literally well marked, which is to say you'll see totems and then the ground will be scorched for, I think it's a full kilometer.
What would we have picked up in town about the Gifted Whisper, given how close they are?
The Gifted Whisper, so the Nolkin, so the Ivory Scorpions, the Clay Spirit, and the Gifted Whispers, the best that you can say about that border is that is the last recognized area of control that the Confederacy is aware of. It's likely different than that.
Yeah.
Because unlike the Orcan tribes who actually, build villages and roads and things like that, all of the Nolkin are much more nomadic, and they tend to be hit and run.
Are they the type that are going to hit and run random travelers who may not have anything on them, or are they the type?
It depends. If they think you're hiding something, yes, because that's the only way they can empty your stomachs to find out, to be sure.
Okay.
How does one prove one is not hiding something?
In your stomach.
No?
I have to open my stomach?
Yep.
Or they will.
I really don't. I mean, I thought airport security was the worst. Now I'm simply not sure. No, it's still the worst. Never mind.
Yeah, it's not good.
It's not great, but I'll take the Nolkin. At least they do it to everyone.
Yes, they're completely indiscriminate in that respect. So yeah, and the Burn Fire Tribe basically are xenophobic to the point of legendary. That's really the thing with the Burn Fire.
Yeah, I know. Like they're gonna be tricky. What does the group think? Do we try and skirt the cliff and not really enter Gifted Whisper territory, and then try and stay on the very outside of Burnfire Tribe territory all the way to like on the northern edge, or do we just and trust in our diplomatic capabilities?
Was there anything else that we picked up? We sort of we were asking around for a little while about the Burnfire Tribe, other than that they're viewed as crazy by the other tribes.
Yeah, so you actually were given a fair amount of information. I hope someone wrote it down. I mean, I can spend a bit of time regurgitating if you didn't. The short version about the Burn Fire is that the short version is they're known by the Burn Fire Tribe is the name given to them by the Confederacy.
Yeah, we have the name.
The Ashna bread.
Yeah, Ashnaga. The Ashnaga bread are for lack of a better way of putting it, that is the original name of the tribe, And 50 odd ish years ago, they suddenly went from being your typical orc clan to being whatever they are today, horrifically xenophobic, torched their own borders, started using other people's bodies as please do not enter signs, things like that.
50 years ago.
Coincidentally.
I don't think that's a coincidence.
So,
And I, you know what? Not only do I not think it's a coincidence, I'm gonna pre-blame it on an Edgewater. Because you know what? Yeah.
Wait, how long ago was the full 60 thing? I don't.
10 years.
20?
20-ish
Maybe
years.
I'm getting my timelines crossed.
But
50 is longer than 20.
50 years,
Where, yeah.
50 years ago is roughly the time for your respective grandparents doing their thing in this area.
Yep.
Okay. I definitely had that somehow mixed up.
So, like, roughly 50 years ago is potentially also roughly when the airship crashed.
That's why I'm pre-blaming. Seems fair to
That
me.
does make some sense.
Also, like, the last time, like, the volcano was doing stuff.
If people are going to
Well, no,
blame
when it
a
started
revolution
doing
on
stuff.
me, I'm sure we can blame whatever happened to the Ashnaga bread on the Edgewaters.
We're going to get there, and we're going to find out the leader looks like a very old Lucas. It's going to be very Apocalypse Now. It's going to be very Heart of Darkness. It's
It's going to be really
so, yeah,
awkward when
so-
I ask again, hey, La Chanson, is Lucas Sr. alive? Yes. We kill him. And then the next session, hey, La Chanson, is Lucas Sr. still alive? Yes.
It's like the Juan of this game, isn't he? He's the Juan. He's the who's in charge here.
He is the one, yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
So yeah, the planar migration, the planar refugees was about so the settlement of Skyanful
Yeah,
was...
this is why it confuses me, because my understanding was that Lucas was the original diplomat with the full 60.
there's some of the orcs, maybe.
Yeah.
That was Elena. Well, the
So
first one.
hang on a second. I'm just double checking.
That may have been like an old version of things.
Yeah, just let me double check something. Because
The problem
Crystal
is the
Fate-
unreliable narrator, if you think about it. Because the narrator is unreliable, we have several versions of the same story. And I'm not talking about Michelle, I'm talking about the nature of all of the different histories.
Yeah.
Love an unreliable
yes.
narrator.
So 166 was the Anvil Heart Company. 168 was the first flight of the Starling Zephyr. 168 was the return of the Anvil Heart Company. 176 was the Starling was lost. 192 and 194 were the births of Lucas and Jasper, respectively.
I would just like to let you know, just because of who I am as a person, the second you said more than one number, I was gone.
Right. Gotcha.
I'm just letting you know that's what happens to my brain. My brain, I have dyscalculia, and my brain just goes numbers. Unless they're visual, they're gone.
So I think it's like
I found
50 years is exactly the Anvil Heart Company going. 40 years is the Zephyr going down.
Okay.
Yeah.
right. So
Somewhere between 20 and 30 years is the full 60 turning up.
Right.
Yeah.
So as far as we know, Lucas had nothing to do with the full 60. So that was That was a
But-
misremembering on my part.
There were like some orc tribes that were like had met. There were some that had met like Elena and some that had met Lucas Senior.
Yes. So, for example, the blood paw absolutely despise him because he was, quote, a very poor guest. What that means, good question.
I'm gonna say it's this.
I mean,
I'm gonna just say it's this though.
I feel like it was the part where they were like, it's like, you know, if we must, we'll burn down this city. Also, the fact that they have a statue of Lucas Sr. will make that choice easier. It was just like, cool. Thank you for that.
So yeah, there we go. All right. Any questions then to clear details up? Okay. So you folk will be making your way, as I say. It is honestly really easy travel. Between the your two hang on a second. I actually have the name of those critters written down, and I'm looking for it and can't find it. Okay. Anyway, Alexei and Boris. I think I posted it in Discord, but I can't find it right
It
away.
can't be Alexa. That's confusing for me. Alexei,
Alexei
thank
and
you.
Boris. Yes, Alexei and
Because
Boris.
I am not a beast of burden.
Is this going to be too confusing?
I mean, as long as the beasts of burden have
Can be
a different
Boris
accent.
and Yuri.
Boris and Yuri it is.
Natasha. Just lean in.
Lean into it. Boris
Hey,
and
didn't we make
Natasha
this
it is.
exact joke?
It's been long enough that we don't remember. Let it go.
So yes, tragedy. You are able. The biggest thing that these fantastic beasts allow you to do, honestly, is not that they move you any faster than if you had just started walking. It's that they allow you to do it with several tons worth of goods.
And to not, use our feet, which is like.
Oh yes, exactly. So basically, the front half of the front half of the wagon is sort of like a houseboat interior, and the back half is like a pickup truck. So you've got this heap of whatever of all manner of things you might need to go adventuring with, and then the front half is actually decently comfortable accommodations, right down to the potbelly stove.
Perfection.
So,
Perfection.
Yes.
I mean, the problem with all of this, when you think about it, is that now we have things that the goblin might want. Surely that becomes the. Never mind.
Ideally, Nolkin will negotiate first. But did we make a decision? Are we skirting the territory?
I feel like that's
Probably
the better
right.
choice.
Yeah. So the plan is to follow as far down the southeast road as we can, and then head over to the cliff. And
I feel like we can definitely skirt the Gifted Whisper. I'm not sure how easy it's going to be to skirt the Burned Fire tribe.
Yeah.
That might be harder.
I mean, Kaz is definitely not walking once she has the option to not be walking. So at least you have sort of eyes up.
Yeah.
To sort of like, help you chart a course.
Hey, you, and do you mind if Mysel reads your mind?
I've never stopped him before.
Certainly did, yes.
Because the two of you could communicate. You could just be in the sky, and then Mysel and you can talk. Because Mysel.
Only there were a device that could make this easier. Sure, why not?
You know that's different from reading someone's mind, right?
No. I don't read minds.
Yeah, but I specifically mentioned it for that reason.
It's
Creating
fine.
that link is very specific. Reading mind it's a different thing.
Okay.
Wait, so what is it you need to do?
She's saying just make a telepathic link so we can communicate.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Mysel doesn't like it when I get his abilities wrong, apparently.
I was just giving you a hard time.
No, he looks grumpy.
Yeah, sorry.
I've had people literally try to kill me over this kind of misunderstanding.
I should make very clear now that, again, this is not the weirdest thing that I know about you guys. The mind reading thing, that's a foregone conclusion. I do not mind. Get it?
That's a good one, Kazra.
That was a
Don't
good one.
patronize me, Spider.
One of us.
Oh, I can finally take
if
rubbish off. It's like scrubbing the beard off his face.
Sorry, I'll start again. If you also don't mind, like Alexander and Spider, I mean, it doesn't have to be just between Kazra and me. I can just link all of us.
I mean, that was one of the reasons why I suggested Kazra, because I still don't know if I am okay.
And again,
You did it the first time we met. I know they are different.
and this is why I ask.
Okay.
Oh, wait a second.
You know what?
You didn't want to do it?
Yes. But here's the thing, though. If you do this, does this mean that everyone is going to hear La Chanson?
I mean,
Because that's what's in my mind. That's what I'm thinking about a lot of the time.
All the time?
Where it's always playing.
But it's not, it doesn't just send, it doesn't just open everyone to each other's thoughts. It just allows you to a line of communication that you can use or not use. You get to decide if you send what you send over that line of communication.
So if
You
La
are in
Chanson,
control of that.
So if La Chanson says, hey, it's time, I want to talk to all of you, which it does sometimes actually, so maybe
that's never stopped it before.
No, it hasn't.
Yeah, I don't know the specifics of what the sentient god being will do in this specific situation, so I can't comment on that part, but
That's fair.
it
Neither
won't,
can
it won't,
I.
your idle thoughts will not be shared.
Oh, thank God.
It is a specific thing that you have to actively choose to use for it to work.
Okay.
Yeah, it sounds incredibly useful.
Okay.
Besides, I mean, you're the only people outside my family who know all my secrets now, so that's great.
So, yes, for perspective, just so everyone has the image, a Cape, imagine a Cape water buffalo, only, yes, 6 legs, 4 curled horns, and, in keeping with the concept of a Cape buffalo, can be loaded with 2,200 kilos each, and can tow and 2 of them hooked together as you have them can tow another 9,000 kilo. So yeah, substantial.
They are big chunkers.
Yes.
And neigh like horse.
There is one little detail about them that is worth being aware of. They do not have the fastest stopping distance you've ever seen. They tend to steer like snowplows. They are very, very good at going. They are not so good at stopping right now.
Maybe I'm one of these. This is just me.
So yeah,
Right. So use locomotive rules when it comes to braking.
Yes, exactly that.
But without a track.
If you see something that means you have to suddenly stop, it's too late.
Yes, if you plan on stopping, you should have planned 10 minutes ago.
This is a good
Alexandri's
time
not
to have
driving.
Flies in the sky, to be fair.
Yes, exactly. So yeah. So
everyone would feel like it just sort of like links everyone. Essentially, everyone is now linked into. I think it works. I think it just sort of creates a network with. I mean, at this point, it's up to any number of creatures he can see.
Right.
So it's,
there, yes. So Vol60 Sky Girl 27 has entered the chat.
Yeah. And I think everyone would feel like that there's like a mental tether. You will be aware that it's there.
Yay, thank you for inviting us. Yay, hey, did you see it? We're up with Kazra,
Oh,
and we
dear
can see
God,
over
no.
here too.
No.
They're not invited?
Mysel still has mod privileges.
Aww.
Awkward moment. Oh yeah, she's up there, so I'll include her. Draw a circle, gets the two robins. Oh no, that was a mistake.
Well, having to bring them in, but it's like, they haven't learned how to. No, that's flooding everyone's brain. That's not okay. No.
Spamming the chat.
Find the space
exactly
bar, kids.
what I thought it would be like.
Time out, 10 minutes.
Just put them on slow mode. It'll be fine.
So, yeah, you folks will be making actually pretty good time. The weather is, I will term it polite. It's not great weather, but it's also not really pouring down rain either. There's sort of this, the wind has shifted around. It's not coming from its usual distance and from its usual direction. It's not the prevailing wind. And so what's happened is that there's a strong lowlands wind that's actually hitting the cliffs, the mountains, riding up and generating this huge, it looks like a waterfall of cloud that's curling up over the mountains behind you in the direction you came from that leads towards Dasseldorf. And the good news is that the plains are actually lower than the mountains. So what happens is that curl of cloud, flows up and over, but doesn't actually come down to the plains. But it does sort of leave these wisps and tendrils of something that's not quite fog and not quite clear air either. And so it's got this very sort of ephemeral feel about as you're moving along this road. You will pass a certain amount of other traffic, other folks. The fields have got people working in them. You'll get some waves and that sort of thing. All in all, nobody out here seems particularly unhappy. Like I say, the fields are busy, the orchards are busy. There are, man and beast about doing the things that need to be done in farmlands. Eventually, you'll leave one area of farms, pass through a small wooded area, and then, with some hills rising up towards your left. And then you curl around and the road continues on and you come out into another farms district with some more trees out in the direction of to your left, out in the direction of the cliff. And sort of you break out, there's this brilliant sun sheeting down through these wispy clouds. There's sort of this, it's a rainbow, but it's caused by clouds. So it's supposed to have these incredibly sharp edges. It's more like this almost prismatic fog drifting through the air above you. Absolutely beautiful from the ground. Absolutely beautiful from Kazra's perspective. There are going to be a few people who will be, kind of looking up because, wow, we don't get to see one of them out this way all the time. I wonder if they're on the Governor's business. Do you think there's anything important going on? Well, it must be. Look at that. There's a noble lady. Oh my goodness. I wonder what's going on, etc., etc. The conversation, you are creating notice as you travel.
That's not helpful.
It's okay.
That's my
while
way.
we're within these.
It's my way. It's me. It's fine. Kaz
I've
is,
given up on trying to disguise Alexa. It's...
Kaz is doing like a low level like hum of narration whenever there's like it's not like the birds, it's just very much. And if you look over to your left there, you can see the cliffs, and then there's the farmland right there. They're just going about their day, and like she's narrating a safari tour.
So you have the tour guide giving a running narrative. Fantastic.
Yes.
So Spider, I have a question for you. What's your prescience stat?
That's one of the extraordinaries, right? So it's 0.
That is correct. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely 0.
Absolutely 0. Okay. So what I would like you to do then is to roll prescience, as though you have a stat of 1 currently. And that
D4 or D6?
that is a D4. Stat 1 is a D4, and I want you to have advantage 2 on this roll.
Right.
Sounds like you're just succeeding.
Maybe not. I mean, it's
just the degree.
Well, if the 20 is crap, then he's done. But yeah.
Yeah. Oh no. Whatever.
You're rolling an extraordinary. Don't have something extraordinary is happening. Please see it.
Please. Also specifically to one person.
Yeah, please.
Please.
The number is 10.
Something extraordinary was happening. Oh, we
no.
have lost a Michelle. Oh, no, we're back. Oh, they're back. They're back. You're back. You're back.
My internet
You
connection is unstable.
Thank you.
Well, back though.
Like,
Yes. Yeah. No,
it was like this is that dropout is terribly but poignantly timed.
Mm-hmm.
yes.
This continent only.
So okay, so that's what I need. Okay, so everyone else, please roll prescience. Flat, no advantage. No advantage, no disadvantage.
Well, fine.
Because you're all mentally linked at this point when Spider has a moment.
Have a moment?
Mm-hmm.
It was just a moment in the hills.
If only I had a d20 to roll.
22.
33.
Oh my gosh. All right.
Oh, there it is.
People have prescience.
Exploding 10s explode.
Yes.
No, I mean, I got an exploding 4, but when you start at 5, it's not like.
Yes, there's a lot of climbing to do.
Prescience.
And casual. Yeah. Prescience, yes.
Oh wait, this is I've never had an exploding thing happen before, so this is happening. Okay, hang on. Because if you roll the highest thing on a given die, you roll it again.
You roll again, and you add it to that.
Nice.
Any die.
Including 20s.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a 29.
Nice.
All right.
So
Spider, you're experiencing something. What?
Yeah, so we'll talk about air navigation and mass hallucination in just one moment. We'll get to the mass hallucination part first. So, I think Spider. So actually, tell me, where is Spider? Are you steering? Are you sitting in the? Are you sitting?
Like driving the cart, so I've got.
All
the
right,
reins
so you're sitting.
of
All right. What are you wearing? Are you looking like Spider? Are you looking like Switch? Are you looking like Alexandre Chauffeur? What are you looking like?
That last one definitely, but like
Yeah,
you don't have a uniform yet for that.
I legitimately think the last one is closest to true. I mean, he is not donning the disguise. He looks like Switch leaving the city, but once he was outside of the city, like so that he could be seen leaving.
Yeah.
Specifically, but once they were outside, he's like, "Oh, I don't want this itchy beard on for no reason," and it just like looks like an average person in a leather shirt and whatever.
All right.
Your average leather shirt.
Well, I mean,
yeah, my average one.
Not the fancy one, the average one, yes.
Exactly.
Looks like someone who looks like they're about to go out and trade with non-humans, so you got to be prepared, right? But...
Yeah, no. So I think the part that's going to first have Spider's attention is the fact that, well, sound stops working. There is a sudden silence which seems to drop over everything.
Yeah.
And I mean, you know, you know very well what a silence spell is. You don't have to be told twice, sort of thing. I think that is that initial kind of hand drops on the crossbow kind of thing, immediately wondering if perhaps you're under attack. Because you're going to commit a crime. Preventing everyone from being able to yell for help is incredibly valuable, right?
Yeah. I've pulled that trick before with some friends, but...
Oh, absolutely. And then the thing that sort of catches you is the fact that you begin to hear a rushing wind that begins to ramp up, but you're not seeing any effect of the wind.
Yeah, I mean, I'm immediately looking at the rest of the group to see if they're...
Yeah. And then you start hearing the sounds of drums, because that doesn't make any sense to you whatsoever. And absolutely, you begin to hear the sounds of a ship creaking, like the timbers. I mean, you've been on a ship before. Even very recently, you've taken a few trips by ship. You start to hear the creaks of timber, and the sounds of shouting as though there's some kind of an alarm going on. And at this point in time, what you are hearing and has begun to sort of leak through to everyone else.
Yeah, I mean, like, I immediately go to that connection we've established and say, can you all hear that?
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Are you doing that?
Are we hearing it through the connection as well?
You're hearing it through your ears.
Oh, goody.
And you are beginning to feel the wind on your skin. You are beginning, and that wind, by the way, is cold. Kazura will recognize that cold. That is the kind of cold you only get from being very high up. This isn't this isn't even this isn't even a mountain's cold. This is a so high in the air your spit freezes cold.
Oh shit.
That's not it. That's not what we want.
And that's when the world around you begins to blur. And the sensation you are left with is though you were following something or riding on something. You can't tell who you are in this moment. What you see is the airship screaming through a roiling, lightning-shot cloud bank, makeshift cannon on its decks belching fire into the sky. And there's Hio attacking the airship. No, that's not Hio. Hio doesn't have a broken left horn. Kazura, this is exactly one of those things that eats your people.
Great. Ugh.
Remember when you first met Hio, I commented they were called flock eaters? That's the translation in your native language. Yes, there's a flock eater attacking this airship. And the airship is doing a fantastic job of punching this thing in the nose. And you realize, I think possibly to your particular horror, that a group of Volsixthi are dropping on this flock eater, and they're wearing armor. They have what look to be lances that they are literally charging as they're dive bombing at the back of this, at the back of what the rest of you, like I say, it looks like Hio, a little bit bigger, broken left horn. And the airship rolls around. There's a massive volley of fire and smoke that erupts. The dragon shrieks. It's definitely not Hio. Hio apparently he does fire magic. This is a brilliant, eye-burning lance of lightning that flashes across the sky. You see sparks leaping across the airship from point to point, as essentially what amount to lightning rods that are sort of stuck at all these odd angles gather the bulk of the blast and discharge it. But you see people tumbling off the side of the airship. Smoke trailing, this inky black smoke trailing from their clothing, and you see Vol 60 diving after them off of the airship. And then the camera wrenches around violently enough to even possibly give Kazra a vague sense of vertigo. Spider, you're looking at your grandfather. Kazra, you're looking at the most awesome Vol 60 you've ever seen. He's taller than you, he's big at the shoulders, he's got armor on, he's got, the armor is basically an eagle head that clamps down, and he's pushing the helm back up. He's got the obvious rent of a dragon claw across his charm, where he hasn't even bothered fixing the armor. They just put a different colored strip of better metal behind that point. Mother, I'm going to wreck the world sword over his shoulder, and he pulls up an eye patch to reveal a gemstone as he looks at Lucas Sr. And in his language, you understand what is said, that nobody else does. He says, another one like that and we'll be in trouble. And Lucas Sr. shakes his head and replies in Vol 60, we have no choice, we have to buy them time. And you're all back home. Kazra, would you mind making me a dexterity check? Because that whole mass hallucination thing while flying?
Yeah. Yeah, no, of course, that makes a lot of sense. You want straight dexterity, or do you want my movement skill?
Well, you use I tell you what, I'm going to leave it up to you to explain to me what skill and why is the reason that you don't fly face first into that tree right there.
I think that as a bush pilot, she's probably been in at least a little bit of bad weather. Like there are procedures in place for like when shit goes sideways, and by shit I mean the wind. Yep. I think when she wakes, like she probably like you see her like sort of like lose altitude for like a little bit and then curl up. Let's find out whether she can pull out of it in time, I guess.
Yeah, for sure.
So
any number above 10, by the way, is a success. The question is, how cool do you look?
Wait a minute, what am I rolling again? Sorry.
Movement or dexterity.
I got you.
And so D20 plus whatever your appropriate dice are. Yeah.
All right. Not very cool.
Is it a 10?
Oh my god.
Is it a 10?
A 9.
Oh no.
Oh, okay.
Friends, my movement skill is 5.
Oh, hang on. No, so the 5 means you're supposed to be rolling a pair of D10, I think.
What did you roll?
5 is D6.
5 is 2D6, so you should be rolling
2D20 and 2D6.
Yeah, D20 and 2D6 is what you should be rolling.
That's what you rolled.
I got a 9.
Oh, gosh. Okay. So the only thing I can explain to you is that Alexandre, who's in the back, about to pour tea, suddenly has Spider and Kazra and the teacup migrating for like she's got the saucer left in her hand as there's this massive crash off to the right-hand side.
Well, I was gonna say,
could she catch? No.
I mean,
Fast.
Yeah. This might be Spider trying to catch Kazra using their extraordinary movement, actually.
Yeah. So no damage, but there's this heap in a corner and your tea is shot.
To the birds, I'm gonna say, don't you try that. Do not try that. Do not. Not even once. No, especially not when I'm not looking. Especially when I'm not looking. Do not.
Not recommended.
I didn't do that. That wasn't me.
No?
Are you okay?
Do you have just the 2 birds, or are there more?
Oh no. Do you need... Alexandria will just heal? Just heal? Just
Yep.
feel some... There's no damage,
Yep.
but feel the healing power of my healing.
Feel the healing power of your healing power. Yes, exactly.
The world's not spinning anymore. That's nice. Preferable.
What the fuck was
Thank you
that?
for trying to catch me, Spider. I would have been okay, I think, but I have worse scripts than this. But I can't think of any right now, so.
Spider like looks at where they are and then looks back at where they were sitting and was like, "How did I get over here?"
Fine reflexes, sir. Some fine reflexes.
What the fuck just happened?
She kind of like pats his shoulder. She goes, I'm going to take your silence as you are being very humble and were being very heroic just now. Yep. Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. You did that on purpose for sure, right?
I mean, of course, I saw you falling.
Yeah.
It seems maybe have been my fault, and I apologize for that.
I'm sorry,
that-
maybe I was too quiet. What the fuck just happened?
I don't know.
I fell from up there.
But why? Because you saw what I saw, right?
That part's the normal part. For once, we don't care about the normal part. That part, birds fall from the sky. That part, normal.
No, but we'll move on.
I think as soon as possible, unless, Mysel, you recognized that dragon, we need to ask Keo about it.
I was just about to ask, because it's potentially Mysel is the better person to ask.
Ah, right.
But it was like, did Mysel recognize, or can I like roll learning or something to see if I remember if I recognize said dragon?
Yes, you can roll. It is at disadvantage 2. It was a fragment that was mentioned early on.
Okay.
Is the tea kettle safe?
Yes.
Alexandria, put some tea.
18.
You had literally set the tea kettle down, picked up your cup, were about to sit on the saucer, and gone.
I liked that cup.
So 18, actually good roll given the odds. As odd as it sounds, you're pretty sure that it's either Spider or yourself heard one of the Lucan talk about something called the One Horn. But Mysel has, you know, in the chunk of history that Mysel recalls in his travels with Heo, no, dragons that look a lot like Heo are in fact in short supply, even at the beginning of at the high point of their careers collectively. The elders had already sort of withdrawn, and the younglings had started getting themselves hunted for sport.
Being mildly hunted.
Yeah. And so said dragon, I'm just gonna say now, to your eye, that's kind of like saying that everyone from Tokyo looks the same. From your perspective, they're Heo and that whoever that is were very, very different dragons. The scale pattern was different, the curve of the horn was different, even the shape of the eyes was out by 2/3 of a mil. Like, how could you confuse these? They're completely different people, etc., etc. But at the same token, there's that part where you're thinking, that's another dragon.
Yeah, I assume there's like a quite a wide spectrum of what dragons can look like, but like
Yeah.
it's like these are two dragons that are roughly in the same area of that spectrum, but they're
Yes,
still separate.
that's the weird.
They're clearly
that's the
separate.
weird part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kesra,
Yes.
that was Lucas Senior
I've seen
with
his
the
statue.
dragon and full 60. You said they got here 20. You got here 20 years ago.
Yeah. So we were saying
That's-
20 years ago, right?
No,
No.
That's-
No, that was
Father disappeared nearly
50.
50 years ago.
that's 40 to 50 years ago. Yeah.
Well, that can't be right.
Yeah, that was. I mean, there's a lot in that which the response of, well, that can't be right, is really appropriate.
Uh-huh.
So
Well, he was the dialect or like the tone that the full 60, the big guy. You know the one I mean. The one
Yeah.
that was
Yeah.
Oh, the one with the sword.
Yes, the way they were speaking to each other suggested that they did. I mean, they know each other. It wasn't the first time they'd met or anything like that. Like they've been speaking for like a while. They've been working together, I guess. But I don't think we have any. We got here 20 years ago.
You got here 20 years ago.
No, we got here to Cliff Spider 20 years ago.
We're not in Cliff Spider.
I'm gonna hazard a guess to say some people got here before
Early.
then.
By decades though? It doesn't.
Would you have an advance guard? Would people do that?
No, we were refugees. We don't have.
Like his.
Well, I mean, what if you're not refugees though?
What were your people escaping, Catherine?
I don't know. I wasn't born.
Born?
They just talk about it being bad.
Oh, you weren't born. I thought you were saying babies. I was a born.
I was born.
I was a born at the time.
It was just. Did you recognize anything about like his gear? It seemed very.
I've never seen
like it
anything.
looked like a uniform.
I've never
specific.
seen anything like that armor in my entire life. Have I, Michelle? I didn't think so. I've never.
Under normal conditions, this is one of these places I would just normally say flat no, but because every once in a while I like the dice to have an opinion about how far off the rails my plot lines go, I'm actually going to ask you to roll learning. Okay. But you're going to do it with disadvantage 1. Now, the only reason I'm letting you roll is because you're full 60.
Okay. Oh, look, I do have a learning skill. That's funny. It's logic I don't have.
Why am I not surprised?
You shouldn't be. Wow, it's an 18.
18.
Oh.
Okay, 18 is not game breaking, but it is an interesting roll. So the short version is Vol 60 flying in plate mail with lances and monster swords ranks right up there with Norse mythology in terms of the reliability in the Vol 60. It's not that you haven't heard it; it's just that it's like hearing about, Thor getting into a drinking contest with the giants, right?
Right.
It's like, no, that's literal mythology. It doesn't happen that way. It's fun stories though. We love to tell them. They make great 2 o'clock in the morning around fire, but no, that ain't how we roll.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely, like, fairy tales and stuff like about like armored full 60. I mean, I'm pretty sure that was just like not to be too like blue about it. Not literally, you know what I mean. But it's not. It seems like the kind of thing that people say when they want kids to feel brave. You know, you think the Progress Confederacy would have let us have like a military presence?
Well, that's kind of the point, isn't it?
Yeah.
So maybe you did.
But like,
maybe they're not full 60. I mean, he was speaking full 60. That one guy definitely was, but I
What was he
don't
saying?
know. He said, another one like that, and something about they're not going to be able to take it. And then your grandpa said that they had to buy them time and that they didn't have a choice.
This is an interesting point to like reveal this, but Spider says in full 60, yeah, I know.
I feel like it's a good time to reveal my character archetype. Confused teenager.
Where did you learn that?
Where did you learn
From
that?
my grandmother.
You all showed up, and it seems like you'd never seen anything like me before.
I've never
I
met.
hadn't.
yeah, I hadn't either.
Yeah, I'll go back to common.
Spider didn't say anything.
Well, I had never met a full 60 before. And obviously, I imagine my accent sounds terrible.
It does.
I mean,
but but it's not like it's a common language.
I mean, I had never seen an orc, so, but I can speak it.
But you would think, but you know what an orc looks like, though. You've seen books with orcs in them, right?
Yes,
I
but we
knew what
learned about
460
full
looked
60.
like as well.
Yes.
You don't learn about a language without knowing what the people that speak it look like.
Yeah, right. We knew
Yeah.
things.
We knew what full 60 looked like. Hey, this is the strangest thing now, isn't it? This is the weirdest thing. We found one. This is it.
I think we might have found it.
This is the most. No, it's still all of it. It's still all of it. I want you to know it's
Yeah.
all of it. It's all of it together, especially considering that your grandpa, who has a statue in my town back there, has 30 years of I don't know, superhero full 60, or 20 years of full 60 buddies history that like I didn't know about until just now when we had a collective hallucination. It's all of it, friends.
There is like a small chance that wasn't. No. Okay.
No.
Yeah, I feel
that-
vision is a more accurate term here.
Uh-huh. We keep seeing the past or the future or something, so this is real.
Say, and at this point, I think collectively what's going to be crawling into at least one of you's head, no rules required, is there was something conspicuously absent in any of those images that you had in your heads.
Music.
No, the
No.
ground.
Huh?
Oh,
Round.
well, they were in the air, right?
We're an airship.
But still,
No,
not so high.
Kazra has never flown high enough that the ground has been invisible.
No.
There was no ground.
They went above
just-
clouds?
Cloudy.
Oh,
Yeah,
God damn
they
it.
were- yeah,
God damn it!
Yeah, I got that.
I don't got nothing.
We going planar. We going planar.
They
Planar
weren't,
here.
this full 60 didn't arrive here early. Lucas Senior went to the full
Arrived
60.
there late.
We didn't see here. We saw where the full 60 are from.
That was the plane of that.
That was
Jamie got that. I don't thinks.
No.
Not yet.
Well, I am just now. I don't know if you could tell. My poker face is
can
great.
tell as you're saying it, like right now.
I'm hurting.
I was this moment years old.
Alexandria is also hurting.
I was born. I was a born.
I was born.
That was. I wasn't born.
Kaz,
Yes.
the creature they were fighting,
Yes.
how familiar are you with that creature in general sense?
Oh, it's a flock eater. It's kind of why your friend is. I responded the way that I did when I met you guys.
Less than zero, more than zero familiarity.
More than zero, less than one. I've never met one. Those
Well, you
books
have
aren't
now.
fake.
You have met one.
Hail. Does hail
Right.
come from a different plane, my soul? Because I
Not
feel like
that
that
I
might
was
be
aware
relevant
of.
now.
Are we related?
Maybe we need to talk to. I don't want to talk to Hail because now Hail may attack everyone.
Don't say,
I-
don't say
I
that.
mean, I mean, we don't know.
He won't attack.
Friend.
He promised. Badly,
He
but
promised.
He promised.
He promised not to eat the city. We're not in. Like I said, we're not in the city anymore.
You're
So
a friend, Alexa.
I think he also promised to not randomly eat people, but you
yes,
know.
I know, but Chevalier said he wouldn't hurt me, and then Cobs McGee said something, and then all of a sudden he hurt me. All I'm saying is, remembering things
Yeah. all
sometimes makes people act strange.
I don't think that's any more of a risk than like one of you guys hurting people.
You don't think a dragon hurting you is going to hurt more than?
You? Probably not. If Spider's any indication, based on what Spider's been saying.
wouldn't
I don't
wanna
torture
live a
people,
test.
Spider.
Maybe that's how it feels.
Yeah, I mean,
Right. The flock eaters, as you refer to them,
Yeah, sorry. I don't know if that's derogatory or not.
I don't know.
It sounds
They eat
descriptive.
They eat flocks, yes.
Yeah, I picked that up. In terms of what you know about them, like, is it just like they were a fact of life that people had to deal with, or is it like they showed up and everyone kind of freaked out a little, or like what?
Contradictory. The history is. I was little. I keep saying this.
You never asked?
Also, like,
No one ever told you?
like
It's
going.
not that I didn't ask, but people don't like to talk about it. It was traumatic.
It was traumatic. We left a thing. And
Wait.
now, never run away from a thing. I'm not going to tell you what it is. But, like, if you need to run, I'm not going to tell you what the thing is that you need to run from. That doesn't make any sense.
So what is it?
When flock eaters considered like recent history or like more ancient history for the full 60?
I could get you that answer. I mean, they've been around for as long as like I know, and like my parents know, and like probably at least like we know about them. As
Flock
far
eaters
as whether
fall into the flock eaters fall into the category of boogeymen.
yeah,
They're the thing that moms use to scare their children to bed, etc., etc. They're the monster from folklore.
it's the thing. It's the big bad thing that gets you. You know?
Were they the monster from folklore the whole time, or are they the monster from folklore in like the last 100 years?
I think you're asking the wrong person. I am not yet 100 years old.
Yeah, not how time works
Not
normally. And I
incorrect,
get,
though.
yeah.
I think.
I don't know. Maybe you do want to talk to Hio. I'm generally better between the two of us because, as I said, everything kind of merged. I'm generally a little better at the long-term memory, but
I don't know. Did he look like he wanted to eat me when he saw? But I mean, we had that conversation, but he didn't have any inclinations. You would know, right? You would know.
He had no actual intention of eating you.
Then that's fine. Then
I'm not concerned with him eating you. I'm just saying, in terms of like long-term memory, like again, in an inaccurate but useful description, I'm generally better at long-term memory. He's better at short-term.
Okay, what's your long-term memory say? Is there are they flock eaters first and then dragons?
My long-term memory is telling me that I was today old when that concept was introduced to me.
Oh.
The fact that Hio and that thing are the same thing it's still blowing my mind a little bit. I don't know if I'm alone here.
Hio, for a while, not an insignificant amount of time, was referred to as the last of the great dragons.
Okay, so it's dragons and then it's great dragons. And then it's great dragons?
I mean, in terms of like lizard-like creatures that either fly or breathe something, there's not an insignificant number sometimes. So like, I don't know, great, sometimes true dragon is sometimes used.
True.
But like the point being, he was the last. The rest died.
Is this how?
No. They got hunted by giant kin.
I mean, I suppose.
And the older ones got old. But
here,
I don't know if it's because they at one point was from where the full 60 from, or if some fled there to get away.
Who are they buying time for?
Yeah, that's...
Because if you only got here 20-something years ago, then maybe it's... My head hurts.
Not to throw us completely off course, but we are just assuming, me, outsider here, just saying,
I don't think you're an outsider anymore.
We know for sure that this isn't like the future, and that's not like you grow up to look exactly like your grandfather when he was that age, and like maybe we get cool armor, and Hio gets really mad at us at some point in the future. That's probably not it, right?
That wasn't Hio.
Okay, just making sure. Now we can go back in the other direction. I just wanted to check.
Like,
also,
I'm not saying that that's not a possibility. I'm saying that's not Hio.
Alexandre.
I was about to, yeah, please.
No, go ahead. What were you going to say?
I was about to say, where was I? If that is that. Sorry, as you were.
I don't.
Alexandre, you just realized where it is you've seen a dragon with a broken horn.
In the vision from a while ago.
That was the dragon that was supporting the evil army.
Yeah, fuck. Good times. Stupid melting walls.
Stupid what now?
It's another weird thing. I don't know if you're doing so well with not asking questions. You probably don't want to know.
You can't cut me off now.
Onto that street, Kazra.
We had...
Was Mysel there for that?
No, Hio was. But Mysel would remember it.
Hio was there for that. Yes,
yeah.
yes.
La Chanson showed us a vision of Spider and I trying to get to the volcano, and a dragon with a broken horn, like that one, flying above us, while someone that may or may not look like Lucas, but with a false leg, maybe,
My brother.
Advancing on us with an orcish army?
An Orckin army for sure.
An Orckin army.
So wait, your grandpa's dead, right? Just making sure. Just
No.
checking.
I haven't checked for a while, but the last time I checked, he was not.
He was lost a long time ago, but
He was assumed dead.
Lost.
well, we thought he was dead, but Alexa says he's not, and
La Chanson says he's not.
So we're looking for your brother and your grandpa?
maybe.
We're looking for the airship.
Okay.
I feel like if we can get to the airship, I might be able to get more details about where it has been and what was happening around it.
I don't have any questions. I just have a huh.
Yeah.
I want armor.
You want armor?
I
I can make you armor if you want.
I will.
Unless this is the future, and then I guess some later. I don't know.
What, do you
It
look
would
like that?
Very cool in armor. I'm just gonna say.
Thank you. I think so too.
Maybe we find you armor and they fuck off big sword. Maybe you are a knight now.
No, I don't want to be a knight. No.
I mean, I told you
I'll
I
take
can
one of those
heal.
knights. If we get to like, we're all gonna fucking die territory, we can circle back to this.
The armor or the knight?
The armor.
Okay.
For sure.
Okay.
So, I will say I've known or at least had experience with a fair number of dragon hunters back in the day. Those full 60, they knew what they were doing. Like, this was not, oh God, we have to fight a large creature. That was, this is something we are experienced and trained and practiced at doing.
Yeah.
How the fuck does a human end up there? I'm sorry, I'm swearing a lot, but I'm very confused.
I mean, how did the full 60 end up here?
That's a very good question. I always imagined a big hole in the sky.
Or in a volcano?
Or punched through by an airship?
Or Cavs McGee?
Or some combination of all of those things.
Or just kidnapping yourself?
I don't know what that means.
Who is that elf? Oh no, so many thoughts.
The big
we
guy.
don't know yet whether they're teamed up with Calms McGee.
No.
I mean, should we go have another look? I just...
Go have another look at what?
Nothing.
At what?
I mean, you can't just turn it on and off. Like,
No.
Turn what on and off?
Vision.
Oh. Sometimes. Depends on the vision.
Forget I said anything. I'm also very confused.
Mm-hmm. Chantel can't remember. Did they kill that dragon?
You never saw what actually happened to the dragon. You saw the attack, the lightning blast, the dive bomber routine by the lancers, and then there was that distortion, and suddenly you were essentially up on the where in the steering area, the aft castle on the top deck, and that's where you saw the full 60 air general, if you want to call them that, talking to Grandfather Lucas, Sky Captain Lucas. So you have no idea what the fate of the attacking dragon was.
I'm gonna try to see if I can recall anything about dragons and the full 60 home, but that's going back a while. I don't expect that to be quick. They're probably even going to be faster just to get to the airship and check that way. But I think Hio needs to know.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna.
Well, maybe don't do the telling Hio thing until we get out of an area where people might accidentally see him.
At least wait till night.
Oh yeah. No, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Heads up.
Oh yeah, no, I agree. He should know.
So are we still like near like farmland and stuff?
Yeah, this particular moment happened, if you're looking at the map, literally just as you were coming past that that farming area. Basically, as you come, there's the set of hills, there's the bend in the road, there's the trees. You just come around that, could see the second set of farmlands, and that's when that happened. So it's about halfway through your day.
Yeah.
That dragon's coming back.
Coming back from where?
Wherever it came from before. Or wherever it is now. It's going to be here. How? I really hope the Maker is not going to make these things happen. It's a very loose name, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, definitely seems like there are people who don't want you to do it. Carves McGee being among them.
There's so much.
Speaking of she who should not be named,
no.
a brief reminder to Alexandri that the last time you had a conversation with her, she had made you an offer and told you that it was a time-limited offer, and if you didn't make a decision, she would.
Oh, I wait, hang on. Was there that bit?
Yes.
Was that bit at the end? Hang on.
Yes.
Who said that bit? Oh.
Yeah. So just as it's been a couple of days since you've spoken to her. Sort of had the idea that perhaps with everything else that's been going on, because it's not like you haven't been beaten about the head and shoulders by the plot lately, that possibly the player had missed or forgotten that little detail. That yes, in the last, I can give you what you want, I can train you, I can turn you loose, I can give you your dreams, but this is a time-limited offer. I have a deadline to keep, so either you make a decision or I will. Was essentially the conversation.
I remembered the first bit. I don't even know that I ever knew the "or I will" part. That's not in any of my notes. Just make a note now. I need to talk to Kovsmiki.
Do you?
Mm-hmm.
Can't you just let her suffer?
No. Cause I asked what she could teach me, and she told me that she could teach me anything. But if I don't make a decision about it, she's going to make a decision about it. And that, I mean, whatever decision she makes can't possibly be good. So,
I mean, can she stop you? I feel like you're probably more powerful than her, right? She's intimidating, sure, but
she called me a novice.
so?
Usually novices are not as good as those that are trained.
Depends on who's doing the calling. Just because you don't know what she knows doesn't mean you don't know other things.
The last time we saw her, she scared everyone off and nearly killed everyone.
When I tried to track her, she was
On another
out of my
plane.
reach, and my reach is long.
On another plane, right?
Yeah.
I wonder if that's her
I
plane?
was ready to refute that until Mysel said that thing, and now, you know what? You're right. You take it back.
I mean, if she could teach me how to do things.
I don't.
I don't think we're trusting the crazy priestess who wants to destroy the world and has tried to kill us multiple times.
I agree with you. I do not trust the priestess who wants to kill everyone. Kind of the opposite of me, really, when you think about it.
Feel like the direction of her training might not be amazing either.
She said that she could teach me whatever it was I wanted to learn.
Yeah. She says a lot of things, though.
That's exactly what I'd say if I wanted you to learn exactly what I wanted to teach you.
That doesn't seem very nice.
She's not very nice.
No. No, she's really not. I don't know how she would teach it to me anyway. I nearly said it. No, that was so close. I didn't do it. I almost said she's not here.
Like you just did?
Mm-hmm.
I see.
You asked. You were looking at me like I needed to say it, so I said it.
I did not ask. I said
Your expression was quizzical.
I'll have to work on that.
It is
Now it
certainly
looks
good
fearful.
to be reminded that we need to be aware of the possibility.
I will try to contact her in the evening.
I'm not.
Whisper of the Wild.
Oh yeah, it is about quitting time, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Let's do it. But like, it's time for stupid question. It's quite stupid question o'clock. You ready?
Uh-huh.
Here we go.
No, I'm not. How dare you assume that I would be?
It's been one of those episodes, hey?
Should I learn from her?
No.
A quick one.
I will take
I'm
that
not-
under advisement.
Now, I'm not asking this to dissuade you, but so much as to just give it some thought. I don't have a specific answer in mind myself. Do you think there is a big difference between telling her no and not giving her an answer in terms of her reaction?
One of them, she continues to try to teach me things anyway.
Does she?
I don't know. But she seems to be interested in doing so. And
She was
if
also
my
interested in
grandmother
killing you.
said, if my grandmother said the truth is their weakness, then if I say nothing, she has nothing to lie to.
Yeah. All right. No, that is a fair point. Yeah. Okay.
So tell the truth.
Yep. Oh,
Oh, you're weak. Don't be weak.
yeah. I think, yeah, I agree. You hadn't considered it like that, and you're right.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for this week's episode.
I have concerns.
Me too.
That would be the point.
Yeah.
Did you all
I
have
can't-
fun?
Oh yes. Oh yes. I can't say good night, everyone. Night, everyone. Say
Yes.
night, everyone.
I do just want to say, I think was it literally just like yesterday, Chantel, I was saying how really wanted my soul
Yes.
to
that is
have that.
exactly-
Ever since you dropped the term, the idea that Kaz recognized Hio from stories from her people and not,
Yep.
as like that, and not, and they have a specific name for that. I was like, oh, I want my soul to know that, but can't ask about something you would never think to. There's no line of questioning that he gets there.
Yep.
So it's just
Now
like,
he has.
so it's like
I mean-
ever since.
Yeah.
I do also. I don't know if you've done this on purpose, but I love it. That all the reference points for the full 60 are very Norse. Because it was like it had the notes like Orgmungandir being their word for flock eater.
Yep.
Given how I named Hio.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Stay afraid. This isn't
So,
feral. This is just fear.
So this is not fear. This is adoration.
Thank you.
This is
In-
great.
For those of you who have not noticed, this is session 14 of chapter 4. And we've been doing this for coming up on this fall, in fact, is going to be 3 years.
Yeah.
And so this is what I've been building up on since we started. On all these little things I've been trying to lay down so that when it all starts to click, it kind of feels like you're getting hit by an avalanche. And I feel like I'm finally getting the payoff.
From
You're getting your avalanche.
Yes.
So it's like
Or
at the
lava
beginning,
flow.
at top of the episode when you're saying it's like you didn't warn me that Michelle will take the things I say and use them. This is
3
it.
years. 3 years worth. 3 years worth.
You don't need to be warned because it's great.
3 years worth of this.
You remember how earlier in the episode I was confused because I thought my grandfather had made contact with the full 60, and you were all like, no, that doesn't line up in the timeline, and I'm like, hang on, but I remember my grandfather making contact with the full. There's like,
Yes. That is what you're remembering is early on. There's an episode where I commented that one of the favorite stories that you used to listen to, but that wasn't public knowledge. That was you and Lucas knew that.
No, I'm aware of that now.
We're gonna have to. I'm gonna end the stream. I'm gonna end the stream. I'm gonna end it.
Bye-bye,
Good
all.
night, everyone.
Good night,
Bye, everyone.